Okay, so in today's video I want to show how to make a very basic keychain, and once we have our basic shape made, I'm going to show how to select an image, convert that image into an SVG file, and then import that SVG file into Fusion 360 and place it on our keychain to use it as a template to extrude. So first we're going to go up here to create sketch, choose the top view to look down on it, select this plane, and we want to choose the rectangle tool. I like to choose the center rectangle. Select it, left click. Once we're on the origin point in the center, left click again, drag your mouse out and select the size you're going to go with. In my case I want to go with 36 by 36. Hit the tab key to move on to the next size or side. Click enter, and that's our basic square shape. We want to go up here to the top to the fillet tool, select it and choose our two corners to start with, which will be this upper left hand corner. I want to change this arc to being 5mm. This is the corner the keychain hole is going to go in. Hit enter, select the fillet tool again, and we want to check or click on each of these other sides, and we want those to be 10mm. This is so that when the keychain is in your pocket, it has nice rounded corners. Select your shape, right click and extrude, and we want this to be 3.6mm thick. So that's our basic keychain shape. We want now to add a hole to this top left hand corner, so click on the hole tool, click where you want it to be, catch it and drag it roughly where you want it. I have it set the size is 3mm, but you can change that to whatever you want. You can make it a 4mm hole if you wanted it. Once you're happy with the positioning, just click OK. And that's your basic blank keychain. So we want now to go and find our image and convert it to an SVG. So go down to Safari or Google or whatever you use as a browser, and we want to type in SVG converter. And I like to use this one here called onlineconvert.com. It's going to ask you to choose your file, so select choose file. I want to go with this image here, which is my Kenprint logo. Hit start and click here on the download button when that's done. You can minimize that, we don't need it. Go back to Fusion. Up here to the top corner and click on insert. I want to go down to insert SVG. Insert from my computer, and you can see it here, it's the SVG logo. Left click it, click open. Select where you want it to be, so select this face, and it doesn't appear because it's actually a huge image. So if we zoom out a bit, you'll see it here on the left. So if you catch this little bar here just to the upper left hand corner of the square, you can see there's two arrows. Dragging in or dragging out increases or decreases the size. So we want to scale it down to a size that fits the keyring. This dot here on the circle, if we catch it, it allows us to rotate the image to suit. This square here, by catching it and dragging it, you can move your logo to position it on the keyring. Once you're happy with the positioning, let it go and click OK. Now we have our image placed on our keychain. We now need to extrude this to make it a separate body so that it can be colored in Bambu Studio. So left click it, right click and hit extrude. Left click again, select each of the parts you want to extrude. As you can see, the letters missing down the bottom here. Ignore that, I'm not using that part of the logo. I just want Kenprint on it. So I want to go and cut this into the keyring by 1mm. So we're going to select -1. And you can see over here on the right hand side it is automatically moved to cut. If I had changed that to 1, it would have been in the positive direction and it would have stood up out of the keychain like this. So we want that to be -1, so it cuts. Click OK. We now have our logo cut into it. I want to go left click, right click and extrude again, and this time I want to make a new component from my extrusion. So select each part again. And I want to choose 1mm. It'll automatically go to join and hide it. But if we click here on join and move down to new component and click OK, we now have two separate pieces in the one keyring, so they can be turned on and off individually. So if I click on bodies, I can turn off the bodies, it leaves the text, turn off the text, etc. So I want to go and save this out as two separate parts. So if I turn off the text first and export, click export, and I turn off the bodies and turn on the components for the text. I'm going to export the text now also. Can print keychain text, click export. Minimize that now because we're finished in Fusion for a second. I'm going to Bambu Studio and I want to click on add. I want to click on both of these, click open, and it's asking, do you want to load these as a single object to multiple parts, and in which case we do, so click yes. And you'll see it's facing up. I want this to be a lovely smooth finish, so I'm going to print this upside down. So if we select this lay on face and choose the face you want it to lay on, which is this one, we now will need to do our colouring from the bottom. So colour painting, I'm going to use the fill tool and I want to select blue for the Ken part. Click on each part and then select red. We're going to choose red for our print part. So you literally just click on it and it automatically colours it. And we're going to hit slice and see how that looks. Use the preview here on the right hand side to see the different layers, catch it and drag it down. So as you can see, it looks like it's going to print pretty decently. And it's giving us a total time of 29 minutes for that keyring with 8 filament changes, which isn't too bad. So if we want to go back to prepare and make multiples of this, we click on it, then right click and hit clone. Choose how many you want. So let's go with 9, that'll give us a total of 10 on the build plate. If we right click the build plate and hit arrange, it'll sort them into an order that suits the printer. Hit slice again, and it's given us an hour and a half for a total of 10 keychains, which is pretty decent. So now all we need to do is hit print plate and send it to the printer once we have our different colors in our AMS on the Bambu printer. And we'd end up with 10 keychains. So that's the basics of how you do it. I hope that's useful. Thanks for watching.